This year has been an incredible journey. In 2025, Spectrum Boy EDC posted close to 40 videos, crossed the 400 subscriber mark, and explored nearly 30 fidgets over just a few months. More than anything, I've learned how generous, curious, and supportive this community truly is. Over this time, I've been gifted and sponsored several pieces by friends, makers, and viewers who wanted to help keep the channel going. Those gestures meant the world to me, and many of those pieces shaped the direction of this channel in unexpected ways. So to everyone who supported, shared, encouraged, commented, gifted, or simply watched this year, thank you. A big part of the channel's early story was accessibility. Living in South Africa means import taxes can be extreme and originals are often difficult to get into the country. So the journey began from the ground up, learning through budget-friendly pieces, refining my taste and understanding the landscape as I went. This is the 2025 Hit or Miss Roundup. It's as much about the fidgets as it is about the story we've been building together. So let's get into it. The first fidget that started everything was the AA Shuffle. It was my first piece, and to this day it's still an absolute hit. I carried it for months and only stopped because I needed to test new pieces. I'd love to try the 3-layer version one day, and especially an original, since this one was a knockoff. Up next on the channel, I reviewed the Devil's Milk Cap. This was my first Haptic coin and my second video. I used it a lot early on. I don't reach out for it as much now. However, it reminds me of one of those old friends you can always return to. Again, I'd love to experience the original version someday. This one, still a hit. Up next was the 3-in-1. This was a knockoff of the Mr. Wang 3-body cube. It was fascinating at the time and made me very curious about the original, especially now that the 3.0 PEI version has been announced. The Mech Egg started strong for me. However, as I explored more sliders and developed a more refined sense of feel, it hasn't held up. So by the end of the year, it's a bit of a miss. The 3-layer magnetic push card was useful at times and has a really satisfying crunch. I rarely reach for it now, so it's somewhere in between. A good budget option, although not something I'd recommend to someone already deep into the hobby. Then came the Ratchet ring by Project Ratchet, and this became an everyday essential for me. It's functional, wearable, beautifully made, where luxury meets utility. It was the first piece ever sponsored to this channel, which made it incredibly meaningful and a definite hit. The Revolver fidget spinner is a brilliant desk spinner. Maybe not an everyday essential, but if you love spinners, this one hits hard. I use it at my desk all the time, so for me, a hit. The cube spinner is something I recommend for beginners. For me, it's a bit more of a fun desk toy. This one also reminds me of my sister. This one brings back fond memories, so it's enjoyable, but maybe not essential. The mini open Armour spinner is affordable. It's an excellent entry point into magnetic mechanism spinners, a hit for anyone just starting out. The 3-layer fan is beautiful. However, it never quite replaced the AA Shuffle for me, so this one didn't land as strongly. Maybe a little bit of a miss going into 2026. The mechanical chain ring from EDC Zeus was another milestone, something I probably wouldn't have bought for myself, yet it opened up a different area of the fidget world. This one isn't an everyday carry for me, so it sits somewhere between hit or miss, although others may love it. Again, what an opportunity to review something sent by someone like EDC Zeus. The mechanical ring was overshadowed slightly because I'd already experienced the Ratchet ring, which set a very high standard. I enjoyed it, I just didn't bond with it in the same way, so this one's a neutral entry for me. I probably won't be fidgeting with this one much in 2026. We also had a kids takeover special where students showcased 3D printed fidgets that they'd made or collected. Even though they aren't pieces I'd normally go for, it raised exciting questions about designing and printing our own fidgets in the future, something I'd really love to explore. Then came the WEKOME Beluga S7, the earphone case spinner that helped me through some difficult moments this year. The spinner isn't the best out there, however its dual-purpose design meant that I'd spent a lot more time with it than I would normally have. It also reminded me of how much potential there is for fidgets that double as functional objects. So a definite hit. I'll still be using this one in 2026. The Magnetic Master 2.0. This was my second Haptic coin. It delivers a strong ping and a satisfying mechanical feel. It's definitely a hit and something I'll still use in 2026. It reminded me a lot of the pivot slider mechanism that came later in the year. The Shein fidget slider was a miss for me. There are much better options out there, even at a budget level. The open Armour spinner was something I'd admired from the beginning of this journey. Finally getting one felt huge. It isn't an everyday carry due to its size and weight, however when you spin it, it absolutely hits. a big hit if you're able to afford it. The owl was enjoyable at first, although over time the experience faded and I eventually stopped returning to it. A miss for me going into 2026. The deep fried dough stick knockoff was fun initially, but the mechanism didn't hold up. I'd love to try the original, although this version is a miss for me going into 2026. The pivot slider, or the blood pagoda, became a real companion piece during a difficult period. It's loud, expressive, deeply satisfying and gratifying. It's an absolute hit. I bonded with this one. The Juzhen free-floating slider was my first introduction to the category. It was a meaningful first step, although I wouldn't recommend it as a starting point when there are better entry options that exist. Which leads me to the Gao magnetic block. This is an outstanding budget free-floating slider. It's light, satisfying, it's made of PEI, and its magnets are in a far better configuration than the Juzhen. It's a massive hit as an entry-level piece. The Sugamo bee-themed free-floating slider took things even further. The additional weight and metal build brought a sense of seriousness and presence, and it completely shifted how I think about the category. This one, for me, was a hit. The hollow free-floating slider, which was gifted by Matthew from Low Key Workflow, is one of the quietest pieces that I own. It's reserved, tactile, inward-focused, subtle, and beautifully restrained. It's a quiet hit that hints at where design in this category could go. Then came another gift, the roller rings, gifted to me by Callan. They're a lovely concept, and I'd love to see if this could be made in a heavier material with stronger magnets. The Fidgimoto Vortex was gifted to me by Nathan. This was another incredibly humbling moment. It's calming, silent, discreet, and has a powerful effect when you're feeling anxious in a crowd. It delivers haptic feedback without drawing any attention. It's completely silent, and that's why this one falls into the executive tier. The full review is still coming in 2026. However, this one already feels special to me. The last review of the year, and one of my absolute favorites. The ultra-thin stainless steel, crisp, magnetic, and almost mechanical in feel. Even though it's magnetic, it functions almost like a mechanical slider. It's refined, confident, and beautifully made. A definite standout for 2025. Those are all the fidgets that we explored in 2025 and how I feel about them heading into 2026. There is so much more to discover and so much still to learn. This community has become something truly special to me. The channel exists because of your curiosity, generosity, encouragement, and belief in the journey. So thank you for every comment, every message, every gift, and every view. I really look forward to what's coming up next in 2026. Stay genuine, stay curious, and as always, stay Spectrumy.